Persons living with disabilities have expressed worry over the non-implementation of Nigeria's Disabilities Prohibition Act of 2018, which mandates public and private agencies to integrate persons living with disabilities into their operations. They say despite the 5 years moratorium given by the Act, many agencies in both the public and private sectors have done nothing towards its implementation. News Centre's Amadin reports.
The Discrimination Against Persons Living with Disabilities Prohibition Act was enacted in 2018 and signed the same year. Despite the Act giving a moratorium of 5 years for both public and private agencies to adjust their operations to include persons living with disabilities, it's less than 30 days for the grace period to expire, yet not much has been achieved towards its implementation.
If you look at the act that establishes the Persons with Disability Act, we can actually see that the country is still very, very far in terms of implementation.
A chance should be given with them, especially now that we're talking about we should kind of unite to rescue and also look at how to achieve the sustainable development goals. So it's not about just inclusive, but we should be deliberate. They are able and they should be given the opportunity to do what they know how to do best.
They say despite the Act, persons living with disabilities continue to suffer from a lack of inclusion, a situation that needs to be addressed.
When you talk of people with disability, rather than inclusion, we should look at it from the perspective of rights and not just inclusion.
We are tired of the discrimination and exclusion, and we want to move from inclusion to participation, and from participation to representation.
People with disability must be included in this scheme of things. They have a huge community. A data I saw said that they represent about 30 million persons living with disability in Nigeria.
They want consideration in the nation's budgeting process and provisions made specially for persons living with disabilities.
We call on the government to insert a budget line in all ministries, departments, and agencies. We also call on National Assembly to make sure there is enough budget allocation for organizations of persons with disabilities, especially National Commission for Persons with Disabilities.
I think government should try and see how they can also simplify the Act and produce it in different languages such that the persons with disability will be able to understand it and be able to hold government accountable and every other stakeholders.
With the enforcement of the Act set to commence in January 2024, stakeholders say government must keep true to its word and ensure that persons living with disabilities are not left behind. Amadin, reporting for News Central.